Hey guys, it is MissSimReno. If you are returning to the channel, welcome back. And if you're brand new, I am very excited that you decided to join me here today for the next installment of our little save file overview. I am doing a world by world overview for the very first version of my save. If you guys want to check that out, I will put a card right in the top right hand corner of the screen for you to check out. But today we're in Windenburg and I am a little bit almost nervous for this world, mainly because number one, it's huge. If you guys didn't know, I think I just counted there are 26 lots in this world. A lot of them are very, very big, and I have built up a few of them, but this is likely one of the worlds that has the most original EA lots still lingering. But we will go ahead and dive right in. We will start with the starter homes. Now, I said plural homes, but there's actually only one in Windenburg right now. It is the Havasham house, which it's kind of a mixture of a renovation slash building from the ground up because I went with the original structure and the shape, but I did build it from scratch because I just felt like it needed a little bit of love. Now, I do plan on putting another starter home here on the Crumbling Isle, I believe it is, this neighborhood, this little island. This mid-nowhere lot would be perfect for a starter home, so that's another plan. Hopefully there will be 2 starters in this world. But this world also came with a ton of townies, so a lot of these lots are already occupied. But one of the first things that we will do is we will go check out the Havasham House starter. And here we are at Havasham House. So again, this is a starter home, and now that I'm in here, why don't we just go ahead and add that Penny Pixies lot trait that I add for most of my starters. But this starter is barely under 20,000 simoleons. We're just a little over 19,700. So this is a little bit more of an expensive starter. This might be great for kicking off a game with 2 sims potentially, but your single sim could still afford this. And you know what I would recommend? This was actually very difficult to kind of reconcile in my brain, but I would recommend getting rid of the flower boxes and maybe these little fake dormers as well. They're mainly there for decoration to really make the build fit in with the world, but if you're trying to save a buck, actually, let's go ahead and see. Oh, that didn't help me at all, actually. Let me see. I'm trying to see how much they are. So let's see. If we're looking at this dormer, they're 450 simoleons. That could save you a couple, like almost a little over 1,500, right? Something like that. It's going to save you a little bit of money. So anyway, so let's take a look at this little starter here. So it is a 2-bedroom, I believe 2 bathrooms. So there's definitely room for your single sim or your couple of sims to start a family and grow a little bit. So these are the 2 bedrooms upstairs, and then downstairs, we do have the kitchen pretty much furnished, and we do have a bathroom with the bathtub instead of a shower or shower tub combo. Bathtubs are a little bit cheaper, so I thought that was kind of a nice direction to go. And then this would be the living room. So you actually have a lot of living space here, and I thought it was a really nice lot. I really enjoy this lot. So this would be a great place to really expand. You've got a big yard over here too. So I could even envision a family of like 4 living here. It has some longevity. Now that we've taken a look at the one and only starter, let's visit some of the original families that I did create for this world. At this time, there are 3 of them. I will save my favorite for last because I'm infatuated with them. I just love them so much. But we will start off over here with the Dodd family. It's just around sunset in this save, which is kind of beautiful on this lot. I think it really works. Now, this is one of the very first Tudor homes that I attempted to build because I really struggle with this style. I think I called it the Newlywed Tudor, and I do have a speed build for it, so I will link it up in the top right-hand side of the screen. But this is where the Dodd family lives. So this family consists of Saoirse and her husband, Lucas. Now, they do not have any children. They don't have any pets or anything like that. They're kind of just trying to be a little, I'm not going to say selfish. I don't think that's fair. I think they're focusing on their careers for right now. They do have like dinner parties with their friends and things like that, but they don't have children right now, and they don't necessarily plan on having children anytime soon. So they purchased this house and they turned the 2nd bedroom into a little office specifically for Lucas because he is a writer. He likes to write poetry and things like that. He needed a space to be creative, whereas Saoirse is actually in the politician career. She is a social justice worker. They're kind of on opposite ends of the spectrum career-wise, but they have found a beautiful partnership in one another, and I really do like their house. It's a little bit of an odd shape, I think specifically up here on the roof, but They do have a really nice porch area over here. They have plenty of places to kind of sit and do some outside activities. And if you really, really wanted to, you could turn that office into an additional bedroom if you decided to change the direction of their lives. I'm kind of realizing that even though this is one of the biggest worlds we have, I don't have too much to show you, so let's just carry on. The next family that we are going to go visit is the Pryor family, and they have a little bit of a sad backstory, but we're really hoping for a brighter future here. Here we are with the Pryor family. This is another build that I do have a speed build for. I believe I just called it a Windenburg family home. It's really big. There's a lot of space in this home. There's also a lot of yard space. I really, really enjoyed making this house. I recall the process. It's probably one of my favorite houses to build, to be totally honest. Now I'm going to turn on all of the lights here so we can just see what's going on. And I will introduce you to this family because, again, the backstory is a little bit sad. So I'm hoping if I open up this family tree, might have to make a little change here, but we'll kind of see. So it looks like I might have to do some alterations here, but I want to introduce you guys to Brody and his sister, Janny. Now, these two are siblings, and their parents tragically passed away. So they were orphaned. I don't know what happened, but they were orphaned, and they went to go live with their aunt. So their aunt is their mother's sister, Susanna, and she is married to Maxwell. Now, Susanna and Maxwell, they never had kids of their own. They don't necessarily plan on having any children, which is kind of why they just got this giant, beautiful, nice house, because they are very, very well off. Maxwell, actually, if I'm remembering correctly, he is a CEO, in the business career, and Susanna is the director of academics at university. So they are very, very well off. They have a lot of money to really just spend on themselves, and they got this beautiful, lavish home. I would consider this the countryside of Windenburg. And when Susanna's sister passed away, they graciously took in their niece and nephew, who are adjusting pretty well thus far to life in Windenburg. I believe they previously lived in Willow Creek, so there was a big shift for them. Not only did they lose their parents, but they had to go move away and kind of adjust to living with their aunt and uncle instead. Now, Susanna is thriving in this new role as kind of a surrogate mom here. Maxwell's kind of struggling because he just never pictured himself as a dad, but yeah, the kids are adjusting perfectly fine, and we don't really know them too well yet, which I think is really exciting with kids and teenagers. I try to do that a lot. Now, Brody here, he has the soulmate aspiration. He really wants to just find that love of his life. I think seeing the love that his parents had for one another really just made him strive to find that person, like his person. He's also active and kind of a loner though, so it's going to make it a little bit difficult for him to maybe find someone in the future. And Janny here, or Janie, how did I want to pronounce it? I think I wanted to pronounce it Janny. Janny here, she's a social butterfly, complete opposite of her brother. She wants to make all of the friends, and I have a feeling that she would be the one that would kind of make her own club doing something fun. I don't know. And over here we have Maxwell. He's grilling, but you can see that they have a lot of fun spaces outside. They have this beautiful giant living room. They've got a grand piano right here in the entryway, which I thought was kind of a nice spot. The kitchen is kind of old. Well, I'd say older. I feel like this house is older, especially with the fireplaces and different spaces like that. But I really like the kitchen. And upstairs, now since they had so many rooms to spare, they were able to give Brody his own room here. And then Janny has her room over here. They've got multiple bathrooms. They have a lot of activities for them to do together. And over here in Susanna and Maxwell's room, well, it looks like Susanna doesn't really care what side of the bed she has. But this is Maxwell's office. It looks like Susanna is sneaking in and kind of using his computer right here, but he conducts a lot of business in here. He spends a lot of his time there, and Susanna spends more of her time with the kids. But again, even though it's kind of a sad backstory, I really loved this family, and I'm really curious to see where life takes them. The third and final family of mine that I want to introduce you guys to is the Okada family. They're my favorite family. They really are in this world. I absolutely adore them. Let's go ahead and check them out. And here we are to visit the Okada family. This is yet again another build that I do have a speed build for. I think it's called the small-ish Tudor home because it's kind of small, but not really. I don't know. I really liked this one though because I did take this giant lot and I gave them a huge side yard and a backyard, which I thought was kind of nice. It's also right next door to that starter of Havasham house. So let me introduce you guys to this family. Let's just turn on all of the lights before we get started so you can also see their house. So First off, we have Jaleesa Okada. So Jaleesa actually met Jun, her husband, when she was in Mount Komorebi. She is a lawyer, by the way, a pretty successful one. She's pretty much the breadwinner in this home. And I love her. I feel like her sense of humor is off the charts, but she can also be very, very serious and articulate when she needs to be. But anyway, she did meet Jun when she was in Mount Komorebi on a holiday at some point, and they fell in love to the point that he moved back with her to Windenburg, where she is originally from. He is also in the military. He's not super, super high up there, but he's definitely getting there. Really enjoys fitness. It's something that he is very much into. And prior to that, he was a stay-at-home dad to their son, Kaito. Now, Kaito, I absolutely adore him. I think he is the cutest child sim that I have ever made. Look at him. Just look at him. I love him so, so much. And actually, let me just say that I made him as a teen first, and then I aged him down just to kind of see what he would look like. He is dashing, a dashing sim as he gets older. But anyway, Kaito also has a dog named Dino. He's really cute. Look at Dino. His little what? Is that like a handkerchief? Not a handkerchief. His little, look, I don't know what it's called. I tried really hard for like literally 5 minutes. I had to stop recording and had to come back. Anyway, Dino is their dog, and this is their little house. I really liked it because the floor plan is kind of odd. It's not something that I've done since, but this is like their little kitchen. They have a dining room over here in this kind of almost a sunroom, you could call it. And it is a little bit tight. They do have to go from chair to chair to get to all of them, but it works. Their living room is little as well. And then the stairs up here lead to, of course, the bedrooms. We have this little hallway area. This is mom and dad's room. I really liked this one because I put a few objects on top of the headboard. I thought it was kind of cute. And there's, of course, some little paying tribute to the fact that Jun is from another part of the world. And now Kaito, okay, he loves animals. The reason why he has Dino is he's obsessed with animals to the point that his room is covered with just animal things. Like, he's got vet posters and everything. He wants to be a vet when he's older, and I think he would be fantastic at it. So I really hope that that comes true for him, but it's a very blue room. He's very much into animals. It may look too cluttered. Everything's accessible, which is very exciting. And then they also have the bathroom up here, but I absolutely love their house. Their backyard, again, is very open. This is kind of closed off, so they have a little bit of privacy with like shrubs and a fence. They've got a swing set for Kaito, and then they really just have a fire pit out here, which I thought was kind of nice. I do give a lot of Sims fire pits in their homes, but I like that this one was kind of open. And I don't know, maybe their neighbors pass by on an evening walk and they call them over to come sit by the fire with them. I think that would be a really sweet idea. As a reminder, all of the townies have also been given makeovers, so if you do choose to play with any of them, you will see that they have been given, I'm gonna go with upgrades for most of them. I don't know if that's fair to say, because I think actually a lot of the Sims in Windenburg I really enjoyed. And as a reminder, I don't touch facial features. I really don't. I try not to because I love them just the way they are. I just kind of upgrade their style a little bit more. Change those outfits around, give them different hairs and stuff like that, just to give them a little bit of my personal flavor. But yeah, every single one has been changed. They've all been given some kind of different looks, you know, especially with teens and kids. I try to just make them look more so their age. But now that we have checked out the starter and some of the original families, I'm going to show you guys just a couple of the community lots that I have built from scratch, and that's pretty much all we're going to have to look at in Windenburg. First up, we have the Windenburg Public Library. Now, this is a library/cafe. You can kind of see that this side is the cafe, this side is the library. Now, if you do download the save, you will notice that this across the way here, this is the original library. So there's technically, I think, no, actually, technically, this is a cafe lot. I stand corrected. This is a cafe lot, so the barista will actually show up and it'll be functional, but you do kind of have two libraries, so just keep that in mind. It's definitely something I will remedy in the future, but this is a librarian cafe. I used a lot of orange woods. It might be very, very overwhelming, especially with my reshade, but this is kind of the library portion. There's even a few books on the ground. Of course there are, because The Sims, right? But I really, really liked it. I did use a taller wall height here, which I don't typically do, because I just thought it really fit the architecture in Windenburg. Like, look at the buildings behind it. I kind of thought that this would match really nicely, even though the pitch of the roof is so high. and it makes me so uncomfortable. But that is kind of the downstairs portion of the library. This is the little cafe. There really isn't too much in here. There's just a couple of tables, but there are some outside tables as well over here. I could probably extend that to the back if I wanted to. You guys could do that if you want. Do whatever you'd like. But then when you go upstairs, this is where the computers and some more of the bookshelves are. What I do want to do in a future version is I want to ditch some of these computers and put the archive machines from Discovery University, because I made this well before that pack came out. And then through these double doors here, you do have kind of like a little rec room. I figured you don't want every single part of the library to be like super, super quiet. You want a space for people to kind of socialize a bit more. So I did put a foosball table, don't wake the llama table. There's a little jukebox, and then there's also a few darts here as well for your Sims to have a little bit of fun if they don't prefer to read. Maybe if kids are stuck there with their parents. That's kind of the idea. The very last community lot that we are going to visit is actually right next door. You probably saw it a few times as I was panning the camera, but this is Bowling and Bites. It is technically categorized as a restaurant, but it is also a bowling alley. So let's go check it out. Now we can get a closer look at Bowling and Bites. I thought it was a cute name, kind of embarrassing as I say it out loud. At the time it sounded great, but this was a challenge. Now bowling is something that I always forget that we have in the game if you have the bowling stuff pack. Fantastic pack, by the way. Very underrated. But bowling alleys have always been a struggle for me because they're huge. Like, you have to have a really big space to be able to make these. And I thought, you know what? Accompanying a bowling alley, you always have like hot dogs and burgers and stuff that you can get. There's always a little restaurant component, at least where I'm from. That's something that is very common. So I decided to make this a restaurant so it would function appropriately, and then your Sims can do some bowling. Now, of course, when you enter down here, there's the I'm going to call it the faux cash registers. They are technically cash registers in game, but this is where you would get your balls and your shoes right at the front desk. There's also a little seating area with the trophy case and this jukebox, which I completely forgot was from Strangerville, as well as a dance floor. So there's a few ways to kind of get snacks and check out some of the bowling league stuff and do a little bit of dancing, listen to some music. And then when you go through this little teeny tiny archway, you get to the actual bowling alley. Now there are only 2 of them because they're huge, giant. And I did play around with kind of syncing, or I think this is well before the platforming tool. So for a future version, I might make some changes here. But basically what I did is I removed the floor here, and I was able to do a little staircase down here to kind of sink these bowling lanes into the ground, but you can see the foundation from the outside on the interior. So I think that'll be a really cool alteration to be mindful of on my end when I kind of dive back in here, maybe play around with the platform tool. I also blocked off these windows, which is kind of weird, and I don't know why I made that decision, but anyway, it's fine. Then there's also a bathroom down here, again, blocking off a window because I didn't know what I was doing. And upstairs is where there's kind of more of a recreation area as well as the restaurant. The restaurant's pretty big. So when you go upstairs, you land right here at the bar area, which again, when you have a restaurant lot, a bartender or mixologist, however you want to refer to them, will go ahead and man that station. So there is a bar here. So this is kind of more of the more social area. And then in here is the restaurant. It's a little bit smaller. There are 2 host stations. Now, only one of them will work, but I just wanted one for decoration. And the kitchen is basically almost non-existent. I might add a few more decorations in here, but I did include the chef station that kind of opened up to the other room, so you could kind of see when your food was ready. And then on this other side through the archway is, again, another little place for your Sims to play foosball or Don't Wake the Llama and just have a good time. I was also able to add this big, giant arcade machine, just way too big for my liking. There's also a DJ station just because I figured, Windenburg and get together with that pack. We kind of got the DJ mixing skill. I figured why not add one? Maybe your Sims could have parties here and they could hire a DJ. That could also be fun. And then there's an additional bathroom. So this is probably one of my favorite community lots just because it is so colorful and so big. But I cannot wait to make some changes to make it even better. That pretty much concludes our tour of Windenburg, of the very first version of my save file. This world is going to need so much love for a second version because there's just so many lots, so many things to do, and a lot of personalities with townies to be able to either renovate their homes or build them homes that really really suit them and who they are. But I hope you guys did enjoy this. I cannot wait to continue down this road. The next world that we are going to be reviewing is San Myshuno, and I will catch you then. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. I can't wait to hear your thoughts, and I will talk to you next time I post a video. Bye!